Sports Extra on a Tuesday. Alrighty, good evening and welcome to Radio Cayman Sports Extra. I'm your host, Dionne. We have a packed show for you tonight. For our very first segment, we'll be chatting with the Chief of Nursing and Operations at Jasmine. That's right, we have Felicia McLean. Let me get this straight. Is it Felicia or Felicia?
Felicia.
Felicia. Thank you for correcting me. I have a co-worker that's Felicia as well, and people mix it up and say Felicia, so it's Felicia. Felicia McLean. We have Miss Siobhan Nixon. Hello, good evening to you. And she's a psychologist with the Wellness Center. And the Department of Sports, Women in Sports Community Fitness Group Programs Coach, Tristan Wessenhagen. Good evening to you.
Good evening.
Good evening. Tonight we'll be discussing some of the great things that's happening for Honoring Women's Month here in the Cayman Islands with the Department of Sports, of course. Then we'll hear from the Department of Education Services, and they'll be chatting about the Intersecondary Track and Field Championship starting tomorrow. And in the final minutes, we'll be chatting with boxing for the Stephen Ross Memorial Boxing Show that's coming up on Saturday. Okay, stay tuned for more Sports Extra in a minute.
Let your voice be heard on community affairs, social issues, and all things Cayman on Talk Today, airing middays on Radio Cayman 89.9 FM and brought to you by Digicel. Get more data and faster speeds with a bigger, better network. Join the Digicel family today.
The Health Services Authority has over 120 world-class physicians offering the most comprehensive range of specialist services on island. Our dedicated team of professionals provide the highest quality care in orthopedics, interventional radiology, women's health, geriatrics, and a host of other specialist areas. We are a JCI accredited organization with a proven record of excellence. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you. For more information, visit hsa.ky.
The Cayman Islands Gender Affairs Unit invites the public to join us on Friday, March 22nd at the Glass House Lawn on Elgin Avenue for the Women in Agriculture Farmers Market from 1:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Come and support women-owned or operated farms and related businesses, showcasing their agricultural-based products. From fresh produce to homemade goods, your purchases will contribute to the economic empowerment of women in agriculture, making a real difference in our community. Mark your calendars, spread the word, and join us in celebrating the remarkable women shaping our agricultural sector. To register as a vendor, visit frc.gov.ky.
This is the People's Radio Station. Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Alrighty, welcome back to Radio Cayman Sports Extra, and I totally butchered your title. Could you please tell us what your title officially is?
Sure. So currently, until Friday, I am the Director of Operations at Nursing at Jasmine. Okay. And then officially on Monday, I start my new role as the Chief Nursing Officer in the Ministry of Health and Wellness for the Cayman Islands.
Awesome. I like that title. It was a mouthful for me, so I preferred she told you. All right. So as we know, March is Honoring Women's Month, and the Department of Sports has held a Women's Month wellness presentation in celebration of International Women's Day, which was held on March 8th. Of course, with the hashtag Inspire Inclusion, with that heart shape, right? So the event saw an impressive lineup of presenters, and you two lovely ladies were the two of the 6 ladies that presented on the day. Do you care to share a little bit about your presentations and tell us what that event meant to you?
So I'll go ahead and start, make it easy. So I will first start off to say I was very happy to be invited, but I wasn't sure if Mita was in her right mind. Truth be told, when she was like, "Hey, Felicia, it's Women's Month. Can you come talk about palliative care, though, or Jasmine and what they do?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think I can make that work." And so it was an honor to be invited first and foremost. And then the challenge came: how do I really help women? But looking at it from a palliative care point of view.
Right.
And so my talk was geared to the fact that women are often the caregivers, and how can Jasmine partner with women and their families to help the patient as themselves, if it was the patient, if the woman was sick, with their quality of life, or if it was the family members and they're caring for someone, how do we help them, and all the things that Jasmine can offer to help a family going through a chronic illness or an end-of-life illness.
Right.
And there was a bit of education in there between the difference between palliative care and hospice care. So hospice is only one portion of palliative care, which is the end-of-life portion.
Right.
But people can get support much earlier on. So things like counseling, grief support, because there's anticipatory grief, or caregiver support, education, symptom management, or even just caregiver role burnout. So let's say the husband is sick, but the wife now becomes the main caregiver and also maybe the main breadwinner, and how that can affect the family. Or if you have kids, how do we talk with them? So there's lots of things that Jasmine could offer in regards to palliative care with chronic illness and also end of life, to help support that lady in a caregiver role going through something like that, or as a patient.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. Siobhan?
So I was honored to be invited back. I spoke at the event 2 years ago.
Yes.
This year I was able to come up with my own topic. So I really wanted to closely align my presentation with the theme. And so coming at it from a psychological standpoint, we can't really promote others to be welcoming of diversity or to be inclusive if we don't first have a good relationship with ourselves.
Yes.
So our interpersonal relationships are based on how we relate to us. So if we don't have self-awareness, if we're not accepting of our own diverse identities, I'm not going to be that for anyone else. So I kind of touched on how do we increase our own level of self-awareness. So using things like journaling, mindfulness, being aware of what our values are, because our values are going to inform the behaviors and what we actually do, in addition to being aware of what our goals are, because that as well will guide our actions. And then first and foremost, realizing that our social identities, so our SES, our race, our gender, sexual orientation, and so forth, they all intersect, so they all interplay. So one person can both have experiences of oppression and privilege at the same time. So just because we're women, an able-bodied woman will be disadvantaged to, would be advantaged to a disabled body woman. So that would just be on that social identity of able-bodiedness. Right. And then you then look at the identity of gender, and then it just even gets more convoluted from that.
Says the woman who was very shy to get in here.
I know, right?
Yes, I love
Still
it.
shy. Still shy.
And Mr. Wesson Hacken, you have a very wonderful story, and I know it's in connection with what, Mrs. McLean is here for. You care to share with us the purpose of your visit here to Radio Cayman tonight?
Yeah, I think it's about helping raise awareness from a first-hand experience point of view. Did I ever heard of Jasmine Hospice Care? Yes, I did. Did I ever hear of hospice care? Yes, I did. But before my current situation or my past situation, I had never interacted with them. And, most of the time, these organizations only come to you at dire moments,
right,
at very difficult moments. And I think it's very important to, raise the awareness for all the broad sorts of help and support that they can offer, not only for the patient, not only for the caregiver, not only for the kids, but also for the extended family, but because it's quite a lot that a family has to go through. And my personal experiences with Jasmine Hospice Care were absolutely amazing. They came by on a daily to just check in, and even those check-ins, whilst not necessarily specific work was done, were extremely valuable. And that also ties into the mental health part of things. Whether you are a caregiver, a male, female, a caregiver, you have to navigate through quite a lot. And organizations like Jasmine help in any or all way that you can imagine. And it, again, ties in very heavily with the mental health side of things, because if we cannot cope anymore, then it's going to be very complicated and difficult to give care or to help the patient that is ultimately, going through a specific process. So my, goals are for the future are a little bit changed.
Yes.
But they are going to be tailored to raising more awareness in an earlier stage as opposed to in the end stage of things, whether that is in the realms of psychology or whether it's in mental health or whether that is in the realm of hospice care and or caregiving or dealing with a disease. And again, on International Women's Day, we had a beautiful lineup of very talented, strong Caribbean women with an amazing track record. And I'm just very proud of all of them, and also very proud of the fact that I could be part of that some way, somehow.
Yeah, I think it's very good that you're here tonight because, like Tristan mentioned, most people don't really come to you guys probably when it's too late.
Very late.
Very late, right? When it's either chronic or end of life, of course. So I'm happy that you're here to share with people. And how have you ever had anyone come to you earlier than that?
Oh, for sure, we have. We are slowly with an anonymous grant doing a lot more out there marketing and stuff, and that's helped. We also have a palliative care physician on board now, which we didn't have a year ago. Well, she started part-time, and now she's full-time, but she's doing outpatient visits. So we have office hours at HSA and soon to have them at Health City as well, where people can actually be referred from their doctor. It's just part of their care. So not go to Jasmine when you can't do anything else, but we're dealing with your condition. You can also have a palliative care consult. They can share with you how they can help, whether it be symptom management, whether it be goal planning, whether it be whatever, social issues that's happening within the house. Because when you go see your doctor, let's just take dialysis for an instant. You're getting dialysis. They give you that treatment. They send you on your way. But the family is coping with how they're getting them there. They're coping with the changes in their lifestyle, from what they could do, from how they eat to how they live.
Yes.
And they don't have time in the hospital with a doctor to deal with that. So that's where palliative care will partner with you to help you figure out what we're going to do. Or if there's kids involved, and how are we managing that? You cannot do it alone. It takes a community. Jasmine's that part of the community that is focusing on that whole quality of life and the holistic care. And as Tristan said, the whole family, not just the patient with the disease, because it's so much more than that.
Felicia, can you share with us a story where Jasmine's intervention significantly impacted a patient's quality of life during their final days?
Do you want to share your story?
No, go ahead, please.
I mean, there's so very many, and there's ones that when they get the care, they live longer. But I remember, I love to share this particular story. It was a while ago. There was a young man, I'd say. As I get older, they become younger. A young man, and he had lung cancer, and he wasn't doing well. But the doctor wanted to give him more chemotherapy, and I wasn't sure why he wanted to do that, because I'm like, this guy has 2 chest strains. He's not doing well. He's in the hospital. I'm like, are you sure this is what you want? Understanding that it might shorten your life. It may not, it's not going to make things better, but it might prolong it a bit. And he was actually from Trinidad, and he gave me this story, and he said, when I was in Trinidad, I would sail. And when I'm sailing, I would, if I'm sailing in a race and I'm coming in last place, I have 2 options. I can sail in and enjoy the sunset, or I can do one last wacky thing to try to win the race. He's like, I'm the guy that would do the wacky thing to win the race. That's who he was. And so Jasmine honored and supported him where he was at, but he helped me to understand from then the importance of everyone having that journey. But he did have his chemotherapy. We got him home. We had a volunteer that would bring him lunch in the day because his wife was still working and he'd be at home by himself. I actually went on maternity leave and came back, and he was still alive. So he did by himself a good amount of time. I was off for like 4 or 5 months. And was able to have that time at home with his wife and living, and had a better quality life, doing exactly what he wanted, but had the support from Jasmine along that journey, helping to check on him, ensuring he had the best care, supporting the wife through that, and then eventually supporting him in his passing when that happened. But yeah, his quality of life did change, and it wasn't because we removed everything and it was nothing else to be done, but we supported him where he was at and what he wanted, so he could maximize his quality of life the way he wanted to live to the end.
How do you stay strong during these times?
You know,
Because I'm getting emotional and my heart is pounding and it's speeding up as I'm speaking with you at the moment. So how do you keep strong during times like this?
I will say, and I will acknowledge it, not everyone has a purpose here in this world. And where someone can teach my kids and deal with them, I couldn't do that. And so by the grace of God, the people who choose this, at least for the most part, at least for me, I feel it's a God-given gift that I actually feel reward and happiness that I'm able to be a part of that journey and able to help him have what he wanted, or any of the people. And so when you don't focus on the loss and what they're losing, so the outcome's going to be not what we wanted, even in Tristan's case, but being able to help Tristan or anyone else through that process to the point that they don't feel alone, abandoned, or lost. They're just guided. There's that support. You walk away feeling thankful that you had the opportunity to make a difference. And when you have that opportunity, you want to do it again. It's almost like a drug. You want to give more. You want to help more. You want to make sure everyone in the Cayman Islands and anywhere else has access to that. Because why should you go through it alone? Why should you suffer by yourself? Why go there? There's no reason. Right. Jasmine is there to help and wants to help. And it doesn't cost a dime. And that's been my passion for the last 18 years with Jasmine. I want everyone to have that level of care and support and not have to go through it by themselves.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
If I may add one thing, or actually emphasize one thing, if you may, because that's a beautiful story that you're sharing. And of course, my heart is kind of pounding also at the moment. But what you're in essence talking about is choice. You're giving the patient a choice, whereas they think they don't have a choice. Mm-hmm. And in our particular case, with the family meetings that have been organized by Jasmine, my wife Laura got a choice also. And it's very interesting how patients, in this particular case, the person that you were referring to, or in this particular case, Laura, actually process that. And those are, brutal but yet beautiful, honest moments. So I just wanted to emphasize that, the story that you said, the essence of it is choice. You give the choice and the power back to the patient. Yep. And we might not like what they're saying, but ultimately that's what it's about.
Well, when all's said and done, you can rest assured that you did what that person wanted. You were able to give them that. When everything is lost and when you can't, a cure isn't in sight, or you don't know how to make it better, having that support and having that choice to do things your way is the last bit of autonomy you have. And that's what you're supporting them and giving them. And then you're just along for the journey.
Yep. Awesome.
And then you really quickly talked about your solutions, or how to fix yourself and that kind of stuff. But I'm really curious for you as a psychologist, and for you in your work, really, what are your coping mechanisms? Because it's really in your face. So yes, I understand the joy part, but what do you do for yourself? What do you guys do for yourself?
Siobhan, can we hear from Siobhan? No, you're very well. That's fine. Let's hear from Siobhan.
I'm trying to think where I want to start.
Not with work-life balance for you.
No. Not talking about that today.
Inside joke.
But I just want to pick up on where you were talking when you were saying, like, you have a good understanding of your passion. I think that highlights that intrapersonal relationship that I'm talking about.
Yes.
And once you are aware of the things you value, then you can really action that, make more meaningful connections, and know how you can then relate to others and inspire inclusion and be open to diverse experiences. As it relates to how we cope, that's an ever developing journey. I think good self-care for one. So that can come in the form of, just working on being able to leave things at work, which is not always...
It's not very easy.
No, not always easy. Making sure that you're doing things that are stimulating. So for me, I've picked up starting to play the piano again, kind of self-teaching myself. When the creative inspiration strikes, we'll make up a song or two. Doesn't happen very often. And then just sort of continue. And I'm also working on growing in my faith at the same time, but also having good social support. So, I have my colleagues at work, supervisor that I will vent to if a day was hard. And that really, really helps. And just having good introspection on how something has impacted you as well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I understand, because I too have to try to have a different mindset when I get home as well, because we read the news every day, and with that comes very negative news nearly every single day. So that's why when I do the headlines, I try to give the hard stories first, and at the end I try to soften things up with a nice positive story, because sometimes you do take those things home.
Yeah.
I have taken it home before, especially when there's devastation around the world, and it affects me. It affects my husband, because he is the one that has to, be the one to comfort me during that time, because I'm just thinking of all the things that's happening. So sports is something that is one of my outlets. Being a Christian helps as well. Being able to go down on my knees and pray. I think those are some of the things that actually help me cope with my job on a day-to-day. And I don't listen to the news when I get out of here.
Sometimes
I
we
kid
just
you
have to
not.
unplug.
I have to cut it off.
Yeah.
I don't. Unless something comes up very interesting and I'm like, okay. What's going on here?
Really quickly, I think our ability to feel as well
Yeah.
also makes a stronger connection for the patients and clients that we work with, because we can really connect and empathize. But it's that fine line of just being able to do so much, but then not also have that trauma carry over to yourself as well, and then you experience secondary trauma. So it's just a fine balance.
Okay, awesome. Okay. Felicia, what are the most common misconceptions about palliative care, and how does Jasmine work to educate the community on this important aspect of healthcare?
So that list could go on for a bit, but I guess the common ones are one that we're just for end of life. And then unfortunately people don't know what end of life is. So they all assume it means when you can no longer talk and you're in a bed and then you're at end of life. When end of life actually can start a whole 6 months out. There are going to be changes that happen throughout there that signals that things are changing and there's a withdrawal. The second is that Jasmine and / hospice care is there to just treat your pain with morphine, and morphine is going to kill you according to them. Now I will say morphine is given when you're having a heart attack. Morphine is given when you had knee surgery. Nowhere in there would anyone's ever worried that it's going to kill them. But the minute that Jasmine, our hospice, recommends morphine in someone that's ill, then that means we're going to kill it. It's not the case. It's, everyone gets to choose yet again whether they want it or they don't want it, and how bad their pain is, whether they need it or don't need it. There are people who die and don't use any medicine at all. And then the third one is that we're just for cancer. Right. And we're not. We're for any chronic illness. We've had a baby the other day that had a traumatic birth and wasn't going to live long, and we supported the family through that. So it's any age, anyone, any chronic illness that's life limiting. We're able to help.
Awesome. I have to cut this segment short, but I would definitely love to have all three of you on again. It will be after Honoring Women's Month, but it'll be so nice to tie this in with sports as well. Yeah?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, is there anything else you would like to say before you go, Siobhan?
Just continue to work on your individual selves if you really want a fruitful relationship with the important ones in your love life.
I just want to thank Mita for putting this together. It was really a blessing. When that does come out, it apparently was recorded. When it does, I encourage everyone to watch it, because it was a really amazing segment with lots of great information for everyone. Yes, and we want to thank the chief officer in the ministry for supporting, and hope that they would do more things like that in the future, because it was absolutely an amazing event.
Anything, Tristan?
I second that, and again, I would wish and hope that more of these events can be done throughout the year, not only highlighting strong Caribbean women and any oral achievements, but
next time we'll do
raising awareness. No, that's not what it's about. Let the women talk. They're better at it. But in all fairness, the awareness point, the speakers that we had, I think we had 6 keynote speakers. And the audience was very big, and the topics were, very educational, and it was a lot of information to absorb. So I do truly, sincerely mean that I second what you say, because it's very important that that information remains available and gets shared throughout, the year, and whatever information can be repeated is, of course, very efficient and good.
Awesome. Thank you very much for that. Thank you so much for coming by. I appreciate you. Though it was short, it was very informative.
Thank you for having
I'm
us.
sure our listeners appreciate every single word you've said. Let's head on now we're going to take a short break, but we'll get back. We'll hear from I think it's the Ministry of Education, they're going to be talking about
Intersecondary
school.
Tomorrow.
That's
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
She
The
can't
kids
wait.
are running.
Yeah, you can tell the parent that child's going to be taking part. All right, stay tuned.
March is Colon Cancer Awareness Month. Colon cancer is the third most prevalent form of cancer, and people over 50 are at a greater risk. Colon cancer warning signs you shouldn't ignore are persistent changes in bowel movement, blood in your stool, persistent discomfort in your abdomen, or unexplained weight loss. The good news is when localized in the bowels, it is highly treatable and can be prevented with a colonoscopy. Talk to your doctor today if you are experiencing any of these symptoms. This message is brought to you by the Lions Club of Grand Cayman, serving the people of the Cayman Islands since 1972.
The Ministry of Education invites eligible Caymanians to apply for a local scholarship for the 2024-2025 academic year. To apply for a local scholarship or learn more about the various scholarship offerings, please visit the Scholarship Secretariat Unit's website at www.moescholarships.gov.ky. Applications close on Tuesday, 30th of April, 2024. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Education.
The Cayman Islands Gender Affairs Unit invites the public to join us on Friday, March 22nd at the Glass House Lawn on Elgin Avenue for the Women in Agriculture Farmers Market from 1:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Come and support women-owned or operated farms and related businesses, showcasing their agricultural-based products. From fresh produce to homemade goods, your purchases will contribute to the economic empowerment of women in agriculture, making a real difference in our community. Mark your calendars, spread the word, and join us in celebrating the remarkable women shaping our agricultural sector. To register as a vendor, visit frc.gov.ky.
Hey Bobo, have you taken the pledge?
What pledge?
The Safe Drivers Pledge, to show your dedication to fostering a culture of responsible driving. Some of the accidents we have in Cayman could have been avoided simply by drivers being more vigilant behind the wheel.
You're right, Our actions behind the wheel can have serious consequences. Everyone should make a commitment to drive safely. Where can I take the pledge?
Visit gov.ky/road safety/pledge.
Thanks. I'll tell others to take the pledge too.
Let's make our roads safer together and say no more for 2024. Visit www.gov.ky/road safety for more information and to take the pledge. Traffic again? What in the world is going on?
Find out by tuning in to Radio Cayman's Traffic Report, brought to you 4 times daily during rush hours following the news at 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 12 noon, and 5:15 p.m. And brought to you by Subway. Need a meal on the go? Subway has 7 locations at Anderson Square, West Shore Plaza, and Industrial Park in Georgetown, Centennial Towers, West Bay, Reef Resort, East End, Countryside Shopping Village in Savannah, and in the Owen Roberts Airport Departure Lounge. No matter if you're running late, need to cater an event, or a staff meeting, Subway keeps you fueled with sandwiches, salads, pizza, wraps, and snacks. Subway, eat fresh.
Since 1976.
Covering Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, Cayman Bright. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Alrighty, welcome back to Radio Cayman Sports Extra. I'll have you guys introduce yourselves, starting with Miss Cherry Whitaker. Go right ahead.
I'm Cherry Whitaker, Department of Sports, School Sports Coordinator. I'm the organizer for the secondary interprimary sports.
Okay.
All right, good night. My name is Aaron Pollard. I'm the high school lead specialist, physical education teacher at John Gray High School.
Awesome. Thank you.
And I'm Carrie Ann Jones Hilton, and I'm the lead PE specialist for primary schools.
Awesome. We have the intersecondary school sports coming up tomorrow.
Yes.
I'm so excited that I have you guys on the show. What can fans expect? I know parents, we just had one parent that's going crazy because her child's taking part, so she's excited. This is when, parents get really excited, right, about sports, their children taking part in sports. So tell us a little bit about tomorrow's event. What can fans expect? Mr. Pollard?
Well, okay. Well, I mean, the intersecondary sport, the track and field meet is a huge meet. The fans, spectators, the participants could expect, as usual, high competition. It builds up until the Friday. You will have some finals tomorrow, some straight finals. The field events, very good throws, very good jumps. The races, it's just great competition. It's really a blessing to see the students out in their numbers, the fans out in their numbers, cheering on, the noise, the atmosphere that is being created. So if anyone is familiar with how it has been in the past, I can say expect that and a lot more. The competition over the years has been fierce, and we expect the same.
It's nice to see interscholastic school sports growing so strong. I remember the years when they didn't think it was that important. Why do you think holding something, games, championships like this within the schools is important?
So this is the culmination of the track and field season.
Yes.
This is one of the biggest meets in the Cayman Islands, and this is where all students. It's not sports day anymore where you compete against each other. Now you're competing against other schools, the private schools, home schools. Yeah. So the competition is now fierce.
Yes.
And it's about, listen, I need to do this for my school. Am I going to take back the championship to the east or to in town or wherever or to the private schools? So everybody is making sure that they are prepared to go out there and meet what is about to come.
I don't want to pit one against the other, but maybe I am. But you guys do all the different sports. You do track and field, you do basketball, you do cricket, football.
Yeah. Well,
no.
Football to a lesser extent. CUC does that, yes.
What else do you all do?
Netball.
Yeah.
Any
netball,
other
basketball, cricket, track and field.
Yeah, to a lesser extent, volleyball.
Okay.
What we do, we partner with a lot of associations as well.
Right.
They run and we just give support where support is needed.
Which one's the biggest for you guys?
In terms of organization?
In terms of which one garners the most excitement?
Track and field.
Always will, huh?
Track and field is at the top. Yes, it is.
It is the most exciting, right?
Yes.
It is exciting. So, and we had inter-primary last week as well, with Red Bay being the victors of that. That was amazing.
Yes,
I was very proud of them. They did really well. They were the day before. I don't think Red Bay was on top.
No.
So I was surprised when I came on the day of the final day and I heard that they won. I was like, wow.
Well,
then Edna Moyle, who was in third the day before, was, I think, fifth.
Yeah. So what happens is that on the last day, traditionally, both secondary and primary, you have the relays.
Right.
And the relays are double points.
Right.
So, sometimes if the schools are knowledgeable of how the system is, they just allow the schools, those who want the bragging rights the first 2 days. But on the last day, that is where the bulk of points can be made. So, it's each event you have 2 participants, but the relay you have 4 participants. So it's harder to find 4 top athletes in one event in the relays. So a lot of teams make up a lot of grounds, on the last day.
Awesome.
Also, the field events carry more points.
Right.
Yes, the field events carry more points.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think that's why Red Bay got, because they got
better. Yeah.
A lot of their kids won the medals for,
and broke records also.
They even had this little girl. I had to write her name down. She's in Division 1.
Sulema?
It's Tahira Stewart. She's in Division 1, and she was the Victress Ludorium. So she shared it with 2 other ladies. So can you imagine that little girl 2-3 years down the road?
Yeah.
She'll be creating waves for Red Bay for about 4 or 5 years.
Amazing. Yeah, I'd say so. So the Victor Ludorum went to Aiden Wilson, and he was of Sir Johnny Cumber Primary. And like you said, the Victrix Ludorum was a 3-way tie with Daniqua Howell of Prospect Primary, and Tahira Stewart of Red Bay Primary, and Hannah Hides of Theolin McCoy Primary. Isn't that your school?
Well, it's my former school, so
Former school.
I say that with pride. Congrats, Anna. But just to add to that,
Yes.
for interprimary, we had the biggest interprimary forever.
Yeah.
So we had
It's
about
19 schools?
19? No, you need to do your math
I
again.
do.
Dionne.
My math
We
ain't
had
math. My math ain't math.
mathing tonight. We had 23 schools.
It was 23.
23 schools plus one team from home school. So we had basically
Oh.
24 teams, and we had about 788 athletes competing on the track. So it was
Based
a
on what I
fabulous
count
team.
here, based on what's his name said when he was reading out all the results, it was just 19. So
Okay,
obviously some may have
schools
been
didn't
left
get
off.
any points.
Yeah,
so
okay.
they were
That
not
happens
So that
at
explains
times.
that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's the 19 I counted, sorry. All right, nice. I like it. So you care to outline anything that is to be expected coming up tomorrow? What's the start going to be like? It's 3 days, right?
Yeah.
So what can people expect Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday?
So on Wednesday we have the straight finals for the 5,000 and
Okay.
the 400.
All right.
You have 400 meter hurdles also.
Okay,
That's
nice.
the
Mhm.
first in the morning, and then the 5,000. Usually on the 3 days they have the longer races starts first because of the heat. So we do them first. So we have 5,000 on Wednesday, and we have 1,500 on Thursday, and 3,000 on Friday morning.
Okay.
But then we have the 100 meter semis on Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
Yes.
Okay.
And
How
then
many?
in between that, we have a field events going
Field events
on.
going on.
Awesome.
And all the field events for Wednesday is straight finals.
Okay.
They're all finals.
And you said 23 for interprimary, 23 schools. How many schools for secondary?
We have 20.
20. That's awesome.
No,
Is-
21.
21. Is that the biggest as well?
No.
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 We had more, yeah, last year. Yes.
What happened? Which school is not participating this year that participated last year?
Aren't we having a culmination
I think
of
we have-
Or some
UCCI
schools are
and-
joining.
Some schools
Okay.
combine, UCCI
Combine.
and SciFec.
Okay.
No, they
Yeah,
combine.
UCC and SciFi
Yes.
combined this year.
Okay.
And I don't know why.
That's about it.
Mhm.
And I'm you guys care to share the significance of the intersecondary school competition as well? Mr. Pollard, do you want to take
Yeah,
that one?
Well, I mean, it's a huge event, and there are so many benefits, whether it be teamwork, leadership, sportsmanship,
Yes.
that rivalry, that just today I was talking to my students about that the honor to represent your school. I don't know, when I was going to school and how good it felt to just represent your school. And one of the things that we're pushing, and we hope to finally cross that hurdle next year, which would be to finally have the event sanctioned.
Okay.
And
I think
you
that's
see,
great.
once we get it sanctioned, because right now we have students who are making great records, and the times and the distances and the jumps that they're making would be good enough to qualify them for Carifta. But because it's not a sanctioned meet, and there are steps to get to that point, because it's not a sanctioned meet, it's not used. So we want to get it sanctioned so that the competition could be very strong. And you never know, in a couple of years, we could have some, invite some outside schools. Right now,
Oh, that's nice.
Champs
Yeah, that'd be
in Jamaica is going on, and we see the kind of competition that they have there. So we want to even surpass that at some point.
Okay, that's the goal.
And Dionne, if I might add, just want to
course.
say thank you to the CIAA for their integral role in all of this. They are partnering with us, and as we move a step closer to sanctioning these meets, this will be very good for our athletes, because this would be the last meet leading up to Carifta, so they get another chance to qualify. So once we get
Awesome.
these records, they can be ratified, and our kids will be going to Carifta. So it's just
Awesome.
a win-win for everybody.
Speaking of athletes, who are some of the top athletes that we need to look out for? And the schools, which top schools? Who won last year?
Could I get the honor of saying one name, please?
Oh my gosh, of course you can.
Shawnee Johnson. So he's a past student of Theoline
Yes,
McCoy.
Theoline McCoy, yes.
You know, that's my school again.
Yes, it is.
And now he's at Clifton Hunter.
Nice.
So I know that he'll be ruffling some feathers.
Yes.
So the other schools need to look out.
Yeah, all right.
Well, I mean, there are a whole host of, athletes that we would want to look at. There is Cayman Prep Serenity Rankin.
Okay, nice.
She did excellent at the primary school. One of the things I would add is that what we do is that because we are also involved in primary school, we see the talent coming up.
Yes.
So we recognize us, and it's the same students from primary school who go into secondary.
Yes.
And they just continue. You have people like, even from, I would say, SciFec, Rashawn Robinson. Clifton Hunter, again, you have Imala Edwards. At John Gray, you have Delora Johnson and Tasha Williams. And you have a whole host of them. Now, I would not want to say who is the best school or what school I think would win.
Why not?
Being a teacher at John Gray, I know the work that we have been doing. Clifton Hunter won the title last year.
Yes.
And we are
hoping to take that.
Take it back.
Yeah, to take that back.
Steal it back to bring it into tongue.
Just as Red Bay did.
Yeah.
Just
last year Pacific won.
Yeah. They were second this year.
Exactly.
But we love the rivalry with the department at Clifton Hunter. All respect to them. And, it's a good understanding and, rivalry between the two schools. In there's a small school category. And shout out to Lehman Scott, who will be defending the title. And other schools are coming up. I would add to that, when you look at the inter-primary, it's very noticeable the work that Cayman Prep is doing.
Yes.
Some of these private schools, even on evenings, because we are at John Gray, we are right next door to Truman Bodnan. We see the work that they come in during the day after school that they put in with their athletes. So,
I'm glad you mentioned that, because you can see the huge improvement in every sport, actually.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
They won cricket, they won basketball in certain divisions, right? Netball as well.
Female basketball.
Female basketball, they won.
And I would say there's a triple C is in the final of the under 14.
Mm-hmm.
And in the girls, you have Cayman Prep again in the final of the girls.
Yes.
So, they are doing an excellent job, the PE teachers and the department across there at the private
Definitely
schools.
have to give credit where it's due, because you have seen a huge improvement from their students, from their athletes in basketball, cricket, track and field, and netball. All the disciplines. I really have to make mention of that. Before we go, is there anything that you would like to tell the people of the Cayman Islands, and also why they should come out to this event starting Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday?
Alrighty, so for me, there's no other event like this on the island.
Mm-hmm.
You will get to see a wide cross-section of kids battling out on the track and on the field. So there's no better place to be than at Truman Bodden, Wednesday, Thursday, not to mention Friday, where we have all the finals where it gets hot.
Yes.
Yeah. I would say that as a student of sport management, I would say that it's, when you look at the demographics of the Caribbean,
yes,
no disrespect to the team sports, but the individual sports have a clear advantage in getting their athletes to the world stage.
I agree.
And this is the starting point for a lot of these athletes, that at these meets at primary school and at secondary school track and field meet, you would see the future Olympians, the students that will represent Cayman Islands in the future. And I think is a big, big thing.
Awesome.
Well, for me, I'm appealing to the parents to come and support their kids, because once you have parents supporting kids, you'll see a difference in the kids.
Yes,
with their behavior and their participation and stuff. But we were trying to, probably next year, try to have the event in the afternoon so parents can actually get off of work, because I know it's a problem now with parents getting off of work at midday or before, so to come to support. But It's appealing to the parents to come out. Take your lunch hour and just come out and support your kid.
Awesome. I noticed you said behavior, right? So the parents can
And
come out, so the kids can behave.
Behave.
Come and watch your
Correct.
children so they can behave.
Correct.
Just to add to that, Dionne, our schedule, we have done our schedule so neatly this year that our medal presentations are timed. So if they're on the schedule, so you know we have a presentation at a particular time.
Okay.
So if your child is being presented a medal, you can check the schedule and see the time, so you can actually take that time off instead of your lunch time.
Okay.
And if I could just say thanks to a couple of persons, the CIAA or directors for Department of Education and the Department of Sports or assistant directors, Mr. Elroy Bryan. I was talking to Ms. Cherry today and I said to her, when you have bosses that get their hands dirty and be on the pitch working, then it's not hard work anymore. It's just us working together as a team. And trust me, we at DES and DOS have been working assiduously together to make sure that our kids have a clean and fun competition. So we thank you all the volunteers, almost 200. We thank you all, teachers and everybody.
And for getting
parents.
over 1,000 kids to take part in sports in the schools. That's
Kids,
amazing.
you are the most important part of this puzzle. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for coming by. I
thank you
appreciate you and
also.
all the best for this weekend.
Thank you. Hope we will see you.
All right. Yes, of course. Of course, I will be there. All right. Stay tuned. We're going to take a short break. When we get back, we're going to hear more from boxing. The Stephen Ross Memorial Boxing Show is this weekend. Stay tuned.
Where your group works can have many sounds, telephones ringing, machines humming, or even waves crashing. But no matter what sounds your group hears when they're working, BAF Insurance has a health insurance plan for your group. You can always count on BAF for affordable, flexible group and individual health insurance plans with professional, friendly customer service. We are BAF. Call us at 949-5089. Your health is our priority.
Family Resource Center celebrates the 25th anniversary of Honoring Women Month throughout March with a full calendar of events offered to honor women's accomplishments and build further awareness of the gender-specific issues affecting women and girls. Key events include their International Women's Day Gala on March 8th with keynote speaker Desiree Phillips, who will host 3 additional workshops inspired by this year's theme, #Inspire Inclusion, between March 10th and 13th. On March 9th, the Inspire Her Girls Conference will provide female students aged 13 to 18 years the opportunity to connect and learn from female leaders in the STEM field and other industries. The annual Color Me Purple 5K is on the 24th, where every participant will earn their own medal. Join the Family Resource Center for their full month of celebrations as they recognize this incredible milestone. To view their calendar of events and to register, visit frc.gov.ky.
Water Authority Cayman gives back this World Water Day. On Friday, the 22nd of March, our offices will close at 11 a.m. so that our team can spend the afternoon volunteering across the community. For emergency assistance, customers can call our helpline in Grand Cayman at 946-4357 or in Cayman Brac at 948-1403.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by CG Britcay. Insurance, health, pensions, life, where people come first.
Covering Little Cayman, Cayman Bright.
Cover me.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Alrighty, welcome back to Radio Cayman Sports Extra, and we're going to talk to a few boxers here about a show that's coming up this weekend, and we're going to start here from my right. Give us your name and tell us who you are.
Good evening, my name is Bernard Eubanks Jr. I am one of the coaches with the Boxing Association.
Awesome.
Hi, good night. My name is Nathaniel Antunes. I am one of the young national Cayman boxers.
Okay.
My name is Ben Vanier. I am one of the young Cayman national boxers.
Okay.
Hello, good evening. My name is Matthew Thompson, and I'm one of the youth boxers.
Awesome. I like it. So, what's happening this weekend? Tell us a little bit about the memorial tournament that's coming up.
So, what's happening this weekend on Saturday we are going to be putting on a lovely boxing card at the Margaritaville, where the old Treasure Island Hotel used to be.
Right. Glad you pointed that out.
Had to bring it up because there's been a lot of confusion recently about where it's going to be, and we don't want people spending all their hard-earned money and going to the wrong venue.
Right. Gotcha.
So
How many bouts are there?
So if I remember correctly, and I have to check the card again, but there should be between 8 and 10 fights on the card. And I know at least 3 of those will involve fights between some of our youth boxers and guys from Barbados.
Okay. Now, these are all Cayman boxers. Are you all
Yes.
friends?
Yeah.
How difficult is it going to be to face each other when you get in the ring? Because I see here on the card, there's Cayman fighting Cayman.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's,
what's that going to be like?
That's from another gym, so we don't have a problem with that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
everybody's from a different gym.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it.
Yeah.
So what gym is fighting which gym?
So it's going to be our national team
Mhm.
at the Dalmain Boxing Gym
Okay.
versus the team that works with Floyd Trumpet
Okay.
at the Performance Lab.
Awesome. Okay, I see. I get it now. I get it. So that's going to be good. It's going to be great entertainment.
Oh,
Were you
yeah.
guys at the last boxing event? Any of you?
Yeah. I was, yeah.
You were there? Did it inspire you in any way?
Well, I was coaching my friend Gino. I was in his
Okay.
corner, and yeah, I thought it was really cool. I
It
thought it was
was.
very entertaining.
It was. Coach, what can we expect from these 3?
So what you can expect from these 3 is a great display of athleticism and technical prowess. I am very proud of these boys. I'm exceptionally proud of them. I've gotten to see them grow as athletes and as fighters, and they've impressed me every step along the way. So I expect that you guys will love seeing them put on that work.
Were you a boxer in your time?
Well, I actually am, because I will also be on the card.
Oh, you are. What's your name?
About halfway down.
What you
I'm
say
the
your
white-
name was?
Ben Artie Banks.
Ben. Okay, you're fighting Martin Thomas.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, do you know anything about your opponent?
I do actually know a fair bit about him. Yeah, so I don't know all of his life details, but I know enough to feel confident that I will be able to put on a good show.
Mike Tyson or Jake Paul?
Oh, Jesus.
Do I get the option to just stop existing? That's my honest opinion.
All right.
I don't want to hear about Jake Paul ever again.
All right, you know what? Let's hear from the boys. Let's hear from. Have any of you fought on this level before?
I've had 2 bouts before.
Okay, how'd you do?
I won both.
You won both of them. Awesome. Knockout, technical knockout?
Both decisions.
Both decisions.
Yeah.
What about you two?
No, this is my debut.
This is your debut?
This is my debut.
Awesome. Okay, that's nice. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
You want to go first?
I got it. Tell us. Talk to me about training. How's training been?
Well, training is every day after school, so you know.
What school do you go to?
John Gray.
Okay, so tell me about training. What do you do at training?
A lot of cardio, especially for this fight. We're preparing very hard, and you know it's non-stop. Yeah, just very hard work and always at it.
All right, what's your fitness regimen like when preparing for a tournament of this level?
A lot of skipping.
Yeah.
Running.
Mhm.
Sparring a lot, but because it's fight week, we've like calmed down with the sparring a bit.
Okay.
And then bag work, a lot of bag work and pad work.
So for me, I think he said running before, but I feel like running to me has been a tremendous role in building up stamina. So, for instance, in this past week, our coach has had us on the bogs and then from the bogs straight to running. So I feel like that is starting to build up quite a bit of stamina.
Running insists of like road running?
Yes, ma'am. Around the track. So
Around the track?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how much do you run?
How much do we run? So around the track is about maybe 4 times around the track is a mile.
Right, yes.
8 laps.
8 laps.
Yeah, 8 laps is a
Bit of clarification, because we do have a little court behind the gym, and 8 laps around that is a
It's
mile.
more than a mile. Because it's no, it's
Yeah,
not.
it's
just a
roughly a
yeah.
mile.
Okay, it is right because that's the netball court, right? There are
Yeah.
4 netball courts. Okay, sounds good. So, what are the plans? I like to ask fighters, what are your plans before your actual fight? What are you going to be doing to help, prepare you for this big fight that's coming up mentally?
Mentally?
How do you prepare yourself mentally for a fight?
Just treat it
Especially
like...
it's your debut, right?
Yeah.
It's 2 of you.
I mean, just treat it like any other day, and except, you're just fighting for the knockout, But yeah, just treat it like any day, like you're walking into the gym. Staying calm and relaxed is very important, and controlling your nerves.
Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe you can share with them some of your tips.
I think the best way to be confident coming into a fight and be sound mentally is to be good physically first, because a lot of fighters, they come off very confident, but they're confident because they know the preparation they've put in.
Right.
And that it will result in good things happening.
Do all 3 of you know who you're fighting against? Have you seen them before? You've sparred against them before?
Yeah.
No more.
No, not sparring, but yeah, we know.
We know what.
Yeah. Me and Nathaniel have no idea, really.
We have no idea because they're from the Bahamas. So I feel like this plays into part with what Ben just said about having confidence in ourselves, in the sense that we don't know how they look, their fighting styles, or anything like that. So we really have to dig deep and find confidence within ourselves to know that we'll be able to fight and put on a show.
Awesome. How can people get tickets to this event? What time does it start? What day is it? Just tell the people, how much is the ticket?
So, at the current moment in time, we only have general tickets available, and those are $25 each. We do not have any available at the boxing gym at this time. I don't think so. That may change, not too sure. But I do know that Animal House and Smoothie King do still have tickets. Again, not sure for how long because they've been selling very quickly.
Rapidly, okay.
The gates will open 6:30 and the event is set to start at 7 p.m.
Okay, and that's this Saturday.
This Saturday.
At where? Treasure Island?
The old Treasure Island.
Treasure Island.
The old Treasure Island. Yeah. Not the one in town.
Margaritaville.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, just to add on to Ben, we did get a restock of tickets at the gym.
Oh.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay. So that's where you get. So at the gym, you'll have to go get those tickets.
Yeah.
The Damian Ebanks gym.
Yeah.
That one. Okay. Good. All right. Well, that's good. I want you, before we go, tell your fans or your friends why they should come out.
Why they should come out?
Come out and see you, yeah.
I feel like a lot of my friends should come out, or just anybody from the Cayman Islands, just to support and support a good cause at that, because for the most part, this helps us with the gym and everything in the sense like that. So I feel like if everybody comes and starts to bring awareness to the gym and stuff like that, we can excel and even bring in new fighters and stuff like that. So
I like that answer. See? That's very good. How many rounds a fight?
3.
Everybody gets 3 rounds?
Yeah, 3 rounds each fight.
Yeah. And no one, there's no pro card?
No, there's nothing professional. It's all amateur.
All amateur. Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I appreciate you.
Thank you very much for having us.
Is there anything you would like to make mention of before we go?
No, not really. I just want to reiterate, I love these kids. They've done good work.
Mm-hmm.
They really impress me, and I expect that they will impress everyone who comes to see the show.
And they're ready.
They are definitely ready.
Coach, you ready?
I am absolutely ready. So I can't be talking about how good they are and not be good myself.
Exactly. And you know what, Coach? You can't lose either.
I know, I can't. You think I'd be able to coach them if I lose this way?
Yeah, exactly. You remember that?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks so much for stopping by, for the Department of Sports and the Department of Education, and of course you guys here at Boxing. We appreciate you. And all the best on Saturday. All the best this weekend. That's it for tonight's edition of Sports Extra. Of course, you know Sports Extra is about giving you the latest information on sporting activities here in the Cayman Islands. If you would like the opportunity just to be a part of our show, please feel free to email me at sportsextracayman@gmail.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. Good night. God bless.
yesterday,
Today.
always and forever.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.